Preface it. All right, started up Streamlabs. First thing I get from YouTube. Okay, this is it. Here we go. YouTube, you already know what's going on. Late night. Right now it's, what is it, 10 something? According to my iPad, it's 10:56 p.m. Here we go. Whoa. Come on now. And we're live. Yeah. Do you remember 9 years ago the world was supposed to end?
Mm-hmm.
You're in my class. I was so afraid.
Back in like 4th grade for us.
Yeah, in 2012, December 21st.
Miss Cats.
Yeah, we used to.
I remember Jackson Rutland going around and saying that.
Yeah, what did he say? Was he just
And
convincing people?
he was just saying it to everyone, and he just went around and said it to everyone. He was like, "Yeah, the world's ending today.
Wow.
I saw on the news or something like that."
You saw on the news?
Yeah, something like that.
What news source was gonna broadcast?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
That's what he said.
What was supposed to happen 9 years ago, man? What?
Well, don't take my word for it, but
I don't know. What was supposed to happen 9 years ago? I don't understand.
I don't know, like a planet colliding with Earth or something like that, or a
Planet
meteorite.
colliding with
I don't know, something like that.
Imagine.
I didn't really know what was going on at that time. I mean, I was in 4th grade. What do you
Sure,
expect from a 4th grader?
I don't know. Maybe they'll come up with some crazy
Yeah,
solution.
yeah,
Like
exactly. Aliens. What is this? Some Star Wars movie?
I know people were convinced that it was the 12, 12, 12, but I was like, nah, I don't think so. It's 12, 21, 12. But still, I don't even know how the world was supposed to end at that time.
I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, that definitely was one of the big things that I remember from 4th grade.
What else do you remember
The
from
world
4th grade?
ending. Not much, to be honest with you. I don't really remember much from Horse Street, to be honest.
Yeah, it was, I remember.
Except for, what is it, Ellis Island? The one that we did in like 3rd grade?
Ellis Island. Yeah, 3rd grade. Yeah, I remember that. We were in the
Yeah,
first class.
I remember that. And then 2nd grade we did the sledding thing. I don't know what it was. It was like, I don't know if you remember, we did some kind of sled competition in our class.
Oh,
It was,
something like that, like the Iditarod joint. I think I remember that. Yeah,
yeah, something like that.
They-
That is the only thing I remember.
they were so hype around.
Oh, 3rd grade we also did
around the world.
around the world.
Yeah, that was
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool,
Right.
honestly. Everyone brought their own like unique dishes to class from their countries. It was pretty cool.
I remember.
I forgot
eating-
what I brought.
You forgot?
Did you remember?
Yeah, I brought fried rice. I think.
Yeah, but I don't remember what I brought. Did you remember?
What do I remember? What you brought?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what I brought.
I don't know. All I know is
Yeah,
that
I kind of forgot.
we had it was just my mother making fried rice, and then you know how we're supposed to have a recipe to show
No.
people. Yeah, we just found a recipe online that had a bunch of stuff that didn't even reflect the recipe that we used in class. So we just printed it out and put it on the table and whatever, and then it was just
It's so
just too
funny.
quick. And then I remember.
I mean, fried rice doesn't really need a recipe, to be honest. In my own experience, I don't even use a recipe. Obviously, I just go whatever I have in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's usually
Pretty
what
much
happens.
just throw out a bunch of stuff and it usually works. I mean, fried rice is the kind of dish that works with anything, to be honest. So
What's the weirdest thing you've put in fried rice?
the weirdest thing?
Yeah.
Can't recall
Or
putting
the-
anything
You're
weird.
not weird. I don't want to say weird. That's so strange. How about the best thing that you put in fried rice?
The best thing that I put in
Best
fried
thing,
rice.
most unexpected. I don't know.
It's definitely not unexpected. It's pretty common back at home, or even like for Chinese people. I don't know if you know the Chinese sausage. It's called lapcheong.
I
I don't know if
I
you know
think
what that is.
I think I know what it is. I just don't. I just didn't know the name. I think I know it, the taste and stuff, but I didn't know it had a name. I just called
Mm.
it Chinese
It's basically
sausage.
like the sweet sausage.
Yeah, it's different from a regular.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that. But
yeah. That's the one that I usually put in sometimes on fried rice. It's really good.
yeah,
But other than that, other best things that I put on fried rice. MSG, there you go.
MSG.
Yeah, I
I don't
put
even know we
MSG
have
in my
MSG in
fried
our
rice.
house. I don't
Oh,
even.
I do.
I don't know.
I keep a stash laying around.
I don't know if our parents keep it in the cupboard because I never found it. I don't know. I don't know
Huh.
if we have a MSG in our spice cabinet or something. It's just I never see it. But
Interesting.
I get no MSG. It's all over YouTube.
MSG. Yeah.
But yeah.
I like
Anyway,
how no, let's talk about the history of
the
MSG.
history of
I'll be
MSG.
pretty interesting.
I don't know what the
Yeah.
history of MSG is, but I can tell you that on Around the World Day, I remember I was hungry and then I kept asking Vaughn for egg rolls, and I think I exhausted most of his egg roll supply. I don't know. I ate so many egg rolls
During
that day.
lunch
No,
uh,
during the thing for
around the
Around the
world.
World Day.
No way.
They were
That's
meant
so funny.
they were meant for people, and I just kept eating his egg rolls. It just goes.
Isn't what is he? Thai, right? No?
I think so. Yes,
Thai or either Thai or Filipino.
I think he's Thai.
He, yeah, I kind of forgot what his ethnicity was.
But
It's been a while since I saw him.
I ate the egg rolls.
Honestly, he just disappeared. Honestly, I haven't seen that kid ever since like what junior year, wasn't it?
Junior year?
Or sophomore?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I think junior year is probably right.
because we didn't go to school on our last years. Both of us decided not to. I'm pretty sure we talked over it or something like
Yeah,
that.
I should have gone back, but I was just
Yeah.
couldn't bring myself to do it. That's why I took in-person
Yeah, I
classes
should've.
this year.
I tried to take in-person classes this year, but it didn't go well.
Just
Like most of
one.
my classes were remote. Yeah, technically just one classes besides Chem Lab. I don't really count that to be honest. Because most of the time Chem Labs is either like labs or taking an exam. That's it.
What about
But we
the
do have lab partners.
what about the
But
next
we
semester?
stick with the same lab partners. What were you saying?
What about the next semester for classes?
I have no idea. I tried to contact someone who would let me know if my classes are registered or not because I did switch my major, so I don't know how it's gonna play out. The one that I had, the one that I made schedule with wasn't my first advisor that I made with for my first schedule or this semester's. So I don't know. It was a different advisor that I had. Not like over the summer that when we made our schedule. But he told me to contact someone in the business area. I don't know. Kind of weird. So I contacted her. She hasn't replied yet. So hopefully she replies. She has a month to reply. Or else I don't have classes next semester if it didn't register.
Mhm.
But other than that, did you have anyone that you knew in any of your classes, or was it all brand new people?
Let's see. In my classes last semester, let's see. Let me recount. So, no, a little bit. Yeah, it was just everybody was a new person, except for maybe one. And then I got to know a few. I got to know a few people, over the semester.
I got to know a lot of people, honestly. Like my English class, I basically talked to everyone pretty much. Everyone was pretty talkative, I guess, in that class. We had, yeah, decent conversations in that class. Because what do you expect? English class. But the English class didn't need to be like 3 hours long. Like all she did was like talk about punctuations and all this. I guess how to use like commas and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of pointless to be honest with you.
Commas.
Most of the stuff that she mentioned was pretty straightforward. But other than that, it was a pretty good class. Everyone got along. But other than that, 3 hours long, not really worth 3 hours long. But I don't know about your English class. Does your English class only have once a week or twice a week?
Once a week, and
For
it was
classes.
yeah, and
okay.
it went from 1 to 4:50 p.m. So I think yours went from 8 to 11:50 a.m. So that's the same time slot we both
Yeah,
have.
pretty much. Yeah, it was way too long, to be honest, for English class. And honestly, it didn't even need to be in person. It was definitely not needed to be in person, but I guess it was better just because you get to meet more people. But yeah, pretty good experience so far. Probably the best class I had this semester. Or it is actually the best class that I had this semester. Because my other remote classes, obviously, I don't get to meet new people and all that. So, yeah. Oh, also, Avery Spur was in our English class.
Was he?
I haven't seen that guy in so long. Huh?
No, it's just yeah, he was in your class.
Yeah,
Just kind
for
of
English.
run of the mill type of just talking and whatever.
Yeah.
Do you
I
remember
guess.
anything from your English class? Your college composition, rather?
Specifically, what?
I don't know. What's the if you were to remember one thing from that class, what would it be? What do you remember?
Ah, I don't know, to be honest with you. Yeah, I have no idea, honestly. I would just say the class is easy. That's all I can remember. Class is easy and everyone's talkative. There you go. That's all I can remember, pretty much. But if you're talking about like academic wise, like learning in the class, I've learned nothing so far. That I have not learned. So, how about you?
I made this origami crane in one of my
Origami.
yeah. I remember the professor said, "Hey, does anybody know origami?" And I just kind of did. Oh, I raised my hand like this. He's like, "Hey, I kind of know it." And then I went through the steps, and I was like, "Oh, well, shoot, I've never folded a paper crane before," so I kind of struggled a little bit. But then I just kind of collected myself, and then we were following a tutorial on the board, on the projected onto the board. So it was
That's funny.
pretty, moderately paced for an origami tutorial. So I had to collect myself, just kind of mentally prepare where I was stuck, and then we made this. We made an origami crane. Only some of them were able to make this. But this is the one thing I was able to get from my college. I still have origami paper in my binder of the same color that I wanted to take. So that's one thing I remember from that. There's another, I was hoping that in our college composition class there were two stories that I wish we spent more in depth, because they are probably the most relatable stories that I could read. It was in a book called Models for Writers, and there were two stories on that same day.
I had the same book.
You had the same book?
Yep.
Did you ever? Oh shoot. What do you remember anything from that book? Because I remember a few. I just forgot the pages. I'm trying to find the pages right now.
I don't really remember anything except for reading an essay about Pepsi.
An essay about Pepsi?
Something like that. Yeah, Pepsi. How they were like, I don't know. It was an example of using MLA format, and it was an essay about like Pepsi, how they helped, I guess, nearby village in India basically have a source of water because they didn't have a source of water. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Other else than that, I don't really remember. Oh, who's that blind girl? I forgot what her name was. There's a couple of blind people that are pretty historical. I forgot what her name was.
I know Helen Keller, the deaf blind.
Yeah, Helen Keller. There you go. Oh my god. Yeah, someone was writing about how Helen Keller is not real or something like that.
Helen Keller's not real.
Or her achievements aren't real. I'm not sure if she actually flew a plane though.
Was this part of the curriculum, or did someone just kind of did someone in your class write it?
It was for a persuasive essay. Someone's idea.
Someone's idea was
in class
write about how her achievements are not real. Huh, that's interesting. Do you know?
Yeah, she said, or not she. He said that she flew a plane, which is, I think, not true because that's Amelia Earhart. I don't think Helen Keller was the one who flew a plane. Oh. Do you recall?
I know Amelia Earhart. I know about her, but I typed in Helen Keller flying a plane, and apparently there's footage. But it's vague. It says she's flying in a plane rather than flying.
You're cutting off.
Am I?
Oh, you're lagging.
That normal people.
Oh shoot, I can't play that. Let me see. I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking through a few videos. As a child, she learned to dive into the ocean with a rope on her. Oh, this is just some dated. This is some dated footage. This is some dated footage, but huh, that's weird. So, in the footage that I'm looking at of Helen Keller flying a plane, it looks like she was assisted. I don't even know how that works.
Yeah, I think I heard of something about that during class. I couldn't recall.
But,
yeah.
I see that
Interesting.
she's navigating, I think, and then there's a pilot behind her. But she is in the seat.
Yeah, also he made an argument how she wrote books, right? Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart?
He was like, Amelia Earhart, and he was arguing how she could actually write books while she was blind or something like that. But I would imagine that someone wrote it for her, to be honest. But I'm not sure.
Are you referencing Amelia Earhart or Helen Keller?
Amelia Earhart. Or Helen Keller, my bad. Helen Keller. Amelia Earhart.
So she had a ghostwriter for her books?
Huh.
That's strange.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what he was speculating. But I'm not sure any of that is true.
It's a strange argument.
I mean, it's a persuasive essay, so it's not like a research essay. But other than that, yeah. What did you do for your research essay? Your topic?
My research paper was focusing on the esports industry, and why it should be put into schools. Why esports into schools? Why esports should be part of school curriculum.
Wow. You gotta check your connection over
Yeah,
there.
it's a little poor.
You,
I
yeah, you're
guess,
breaking up a little bit.
but
Well, that
esports.
sounds pretty interesting. Are you talking about like how it could be like a degree or just like?
I have looked into the. I mean, honestly, it was a for the topic that I picked. My research was way too shallow to support my
Or
thesis.
the word count?
No, just
Oh,
yeah,
thesis.
my thesis. It was way too shallow. If I really want to make an argument to support esports being part of the school curriculum, I left out so many questions in my research paper, but somehow I got a high
Yeah.
grade. I left out so many questions. I didn't get to answer I didn't get to answer that debate about whether video games cause violence or whatever.
Mhm.
I didn't talk about existing. I don't. There's a service, I think, a service or program called, I don't know how it's pronounced, Play Versus or Play VS. Play VS. It's a. I looked into this as far back as a sophomore year of high school when I was also looking into the esports industry, but
Mhm.
Play VS. I'm just gonna say Play Versus because that's what it looks like to me. I looked into Play Versus just a little bit, not as much as I wanted to. This would have been nice to put in my research paper, but I didn't do enough research on the Play Versus service or Play VS, whatever. So that's the question I missed answering. Another question. What else did I can't remember off the top of my head, but I just left so many questions unanswered. I could have. There were so many articles on Google Scholar and EBSCOhost about the what is it? The physical or kind of like the motor skills implications of esports. I could have done more on that, the actual physical improvements that you can get playing esports. I did a little bit on the social skills aspect about how leadership is important in esports and whatever. But yeah, I left a lot of questions unanswered in that. Maybe I could have gone into the history of video games and the stigma around video games, but even then I didn't answer that question. So to answer the question of why esports should be put into school curriculum, I didn't have strong enough arguments to make a convincing paper, but somehow I got, a high grade. My arguments were poor, and I could have answered it with more depth than that.
Yeah, I'm surprised I got a high grade on mine too. My topic was about how
COVID vaccine, right?
COVID-19 vaccines, yeah, are basically beneficial, pretty much. And I got high grade on it somehow. And I think the day before it was due, right?
Yeah.
I only had 800 words out of 2,000 word
2000,
count.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I spent, I think it was around 7:30 on that Thursday at night. Pull a all-nighter. And keep in mind, there's a 3-hour class in the morning. Pulled an all-nighter, stayed up all night, and there comes class. But we didn't talk about like the research paper. We immediately just talk about the persuasive essay and all that. And I was literally expecting to get an email saying why did you turn in your essay late or something like that, because I turned it in like 2 days late technically, even though I didn't touch it. After that I didn't submit it, right, which was due on that Friday before class, and I somehow got it above an 85 on it. And I think I left out a couple of things on my proving the thesis. Honestly, there was a bunch of failures, to be honest. I was just like typing whatever I could find on the internet and just like basically rephrased it, but Other than that, I looked at the rubric and I didn't get any points off for punctuations or anything or like citations. So I got full points on that, and I think I got full points on what is it? The thesis, basically supporting my thesis. But the only thing that I lost points on, I think, was she was talking about how my essay was almost sounding like a report rather than a research paper. But other than that, she didn't say anything else. So, yeah. Well, I guess when I look back at it, it's dumpster fire. I don't know how I got that grade, to be honest. But, yeah.
It happens.
Just how it goes, I guess. What else is...
So, I remember back to the models for writer stuff. There were two kind of things that day that I really wanted to go in depth, but we just kept asking just kind of basic questions about the reading, and it was just whatever. One of them is called "Cheating is Good for You" by Mia Consalvo. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but the basis of this was, when I read it, the basis is that maybe cheating has some positive implications behind it, and the points.
What examples?
Well, she states that there are 4 major reasons why players cheat in a game. Either they are stuck, they want to play God, they are bored, or they want to be a jerk. Apparently, those are the 4 reasons. And looking back on this, I would combine the second and third reason into just they're bored.
One. Yeah.
I guess. So yeah. So they're stuck, they're bored, or they want to be a jerk. But let's see. So, and then she just goes on to state why people cheat and whatever. And then when it comes to asking why cheating is actually good, what does it say? This was months back, and the conversation wasn't that meaningful for me to remember much about the book. So let's see. What does it say? She says, the developer rushed the game out. In those situations, cheating lets the player keep playing the game they spent good money on. Oh, wait. So it states, first, players get stuck all the time. It doesn't matter if you're a master at real-time strategy games. If it's your first action-adventure game, you might be really bad at it. In those situations, cheating lets the player keep playing the game they spent good money on. It can mean the difference between completing a game and abandoning it mid-stream. That sounds...
Honestly, I do kind of agree but disagree with that statement, because you're paying for the game for content. You're not paying for it to basically get over with it real quick, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
The premise of the game is to take your time and take in what the storyline has to offer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though games like, let's say, Demon Souls or Bloodborne, for example, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty hard games, right? But those are kind of the, I guess, highlights of the game. That's why people play, you know what I mean?
Yes.
If you're not basically like prepared to play that kind of game, don't play it. I mean, you gotta basically do your research first before you get game or anything, you know what I mean? If you don't like those kind of like gameplays, just don't buy it, I guess. I mean, like, I guess that honestly, in my opinion,